Huang Xiaofeng started to wake up and became aware of someone who was above him. Huang Xiaofeng asked that person. He was curious about who he really was. The person who heard Huang Xiaofeng's question started to laugh. The person introduced himself. He was Master Meigao from Abai's Andis, a high-ranking demon with pure blood and very broad powers. With a cynical face, Huang Xiaofeng thought that Meigao thought he was something special. He himself thought that Meigao wasn't that special. Huang Xiaofeng thought that if humans had risen, humans would send Meigao back to the abyss like an insect. Meigao heard it. He surprised by Huang Xiaofeng's confident argument. He was confused by Huang Xiaofeng, who was full of pride when he himself had been beaten by the priest. Meigao, who was angry and sweating coldly, called this a strategy to escape. Judging from Huang Xiaofeng's expression, he thought that Master Meigao was just making excuses. Meigao began to incite Huang Xiaofeng, asking whether he was really satisfied if those stupid humans laughed at him. His family and friends also didn't help him. They instead became sycophants to the person who had humiliated him. Meigao wanted to instigate Huang Xiaofeng to make a deal with him, and he promised to give him unrivaled power now, and that way he could destroy them, humiliate him. Meigao told Huang Xiaofeng to make his father realize that he was the only one who deserved respect. Huang Xiaofeng threw his pillow and told him to leave. He said that this time he would not forgive him. With anger and self-confidence, he felt that he was a genius among geniuses, and he doesn't need help from insects like him. He ordered to give that ugly power to losers, not people like him. Meigao was confused. He actually wanted to kill him, but he had to be patient because it was all for show. While slowly leaving Huang Xiaofeng, he told Huang Xiaofeng that he had changed. His mind told Huang Xiaofeng to call her name Meigao. While smiling, he will hear his call and immediately give him the power of the abyss and guide him to become unyielding fallen one. The location changes to a secret realm dungeon called the Land of Bones with the requirements of level 6 to 10 and nightmare difficulty. Lin Yi and his colleagues are in. He was in front of the dungeon and was about to enter it. Lin Yi asked Baiji. He asked how many times Baiji could still use the power of her awakening talent this week. The Land of Bones is an abandoned place shrouded in death, surrounded by an army of skeletons guarding the door. And when someone tries to go in, that person will wake up the skeleton and they will see it as fresh food. Baiji answered Lin Yi by holding up her index finger while saying once. She explained that she had previously used it once during the previous 2 dungeons. Lin Yi sighed and asked Baiji not to rush to use it and save it for something else. Later, Lin Yi explains that even though this is a nightmare-level dungeon, everything must have a diamond level set. The platinum-grade dungeon drop won't help them much. The Huang family has agreed to give them a better dungeon this week and opened a catastrophe difficulty dungeon room for them. Lin Yi thinks that what they need is a weapon to get through the time's transition. Lin Yi speculated.
Even if we don't get anything that can be used, we can still sell it at a high price.
This time Lin Yi has 3 goals in going to the dungeon. The first is to get attribute points. The second is to get platinum-grade weapons. And the third is to reach SSS level strategy for nightmare level. Lin Yi told the others to just pay attention because he will treat his colleagues like he was teaching them. Su Mu felt that the idea was good, so he wouldn't intervene unless Lin Yi made a mistake. They started to enter the dungeon and teleported. The difficulty level of this dungeon is usually referred to as bone soup among professionals and students. Lin Yi and the others entered the dungeon with equipment that automatically changed. To get an SSS rating in this dungeon, you had to meet 4 conditions. The first must kill the final boss, namely the Undead Knight. The second must kill all the undead skeleton. The third is not to use the special weapon of the dungeon Holy Sword to suppress all the undead in the Land of Bones. The fourth is before clearing the dungeon. The Holy Sword must maintain more than 60% durability. Baiji feels afraid because the Land of Bones is called Bone Soup because of its general level and the level of difficulty is the same. She is afraid because actually this dungeon only requires a Holy Sword to complete it easily. But this was the first time she faced nightmare difficulties. Su Mu calmed Baiji and said,
With 300% restrain damage, which is like a cheat, if a nightmare appears, can it still be called a nightmare?
Su Mu asked Baiji not to worry. She also asked Baiji to sell equipment, strategies, and buy snacks after the 2 of them finished this dungeon. Baiji felt embarrassed and said that she didn't need that. Lin Yi, who saw that, said that he will working for free. Lin Yi began to show off his talent. He asked his colleagues to see it. Lin Yi bit his finger until it made his finger bleed. He put the blood dripping from him into a crack beneath him. The crack, which was originally small, became big. Lin Yi knew how to lure the skeletons, namely to make them ignore the Holy Sword protective barrier which they hated. Lin Yi started to use his skills on himself. which caused he to enter a state of constant bleeding. Lin Yi began to vomit blood and his attributes decreased. Skeletons attracted by the blood began to come out of the cracks and began to attack Lin Yi. Su Mumu swiftly grabbed Bai Ji's shoulders and told her to run, while throwing a pill at Lin Yi and telling him to catch it. The name of the pill was Pain Relief Pill. The effect of this pill appear after drinking it. The effect on the body will significantly reduce physical pain. There is no healing ability and will not repair the wound. Lin Yi received the pull with his hand and held it. While enduring the pain, Lin Yi started to drink the pill. The skeletons chased Lin Yi from behind. Lin Yi continued to run to find the right momentum to attack. Lin Ye's health and vitality continued to decline to below 25%. According to Lin Ye's assessment, these undead skeletons' desire for blood far exceeds their aversion to holy light. A worried Bai Ji asked Su Mumu.
Do we really not need to help him?
Su Mumu, who believed in Lin Yi, answered.
No, we have to trust him completely. That's Lin Yi.
Lin Yi injured his arm, which made it bleed. When his health and vitality continued to decrease, Lin Yi continued to run from the skeletons until his health and vitality were below 10%. Until Lin Yi was approaching the edge of the dungeon, the land of bones. But this was Lin Ye's target. When he was no longer there, there's a place to escape. Lin Yi restored his arm with the divine healing method skill, which made his health continue to increase. The skeletons who saw it felt confused by Lin Ye's actions and intentions. While raising his staff and using the reversal of divine damage skill, which made several skeletons disappear and disappear instantly, Lin Yi said to the skeletons who were running away that at this time it was too late to find the oddity and found himself unappetizing again. Lin Yi glared at the skeletons running frantically. Lin Yi used the Fallen Fell skill. The skeletons within his attack distance were all hit by his attack and caused all the undead skeletons' health to become zero. While surrounded by smoke, Lin Yi stayed there. Lin Ye's skill caused a big hole. Suddenly heard Su Mumu, who heard the loud voice, reflexively turn towards the source of the sound. Bai Ji, who heard it, was also shocked. Lin Yi calmly looked at the source of the sound. The monster in the cave was angry because it had been woken up. Lin Ye's actions caused the Undead Knight boss to wake up. The monster was called Undead Knight. He has the skills Grudge Fire, Undead Fury, Nether Abyss. Because it had woken him up, Undead Knight wanted to use Lin Ye's skull as a cup and drink all his blood. The Undead Knight used the Grudge Fire skill to attack Lin Yi. Lin Yi also started using his skill. He stomped his staff and used the Reversal Healing Art Plundering Technique skill. Lin Ye's attack made the Undead Knight skill not work because it had been removed by his skill. His skill pierced the Undead Knight and gave quite a lot of damage to the Undead Knight. Lin Yi told the Undead Knight that he was very weak. Lin Yi began to use the reversal skill Divine Healing Method. Catastrophe Descends. The effect of the attack added 50% damage and released red lightning, which hit the Undead Knight. Because of Lin Ye's attack, the Undead Knight received severe damage. The Undead Knight's passive skill, Undead Fury, has been activated, which makes the Undead Knight's attribute strengthened. The Undead Knight's face became scary. He wanted his breath back. Because the Undead Knight skills, all the undead who had been defeated by Lin Yi began to be resurrected, which made the undead skeletons recover 100 health per second. Lin Yi, who was listening to the notification, was shocked and looked around him. Around him, the undead skeletons were starting to be resurrected and recovering the health they had lost. The Undead Knight who brought his undead army thought that Lin Yi was just a stupid human who couldn't do anything now. He also arrogantly wanted to hear Lin Ye's last words. Hearing the words of the Undead Knight, Lin Yi smiled slightly. Bai Ji was frightened and called him the Great One. On the other hand, Su Mumu felt relaxed and said that this monster was very stupid. Su Mumu thinks that this monster can't even make basic calculations. The Undead Knight only gains 100 health per second. But for Su Mumu, Lin Yi doesn't even need healing restrictions from the Holy Sword to neutralize it. Su Mumu believes that Lin Yi can defeat him just by pressing with output. Just 3 seconds is enough for Lin Yi to complete it. Lin Yi began to use his skill, which caused the undead to die. The damage the undead received was 5 times more than the healing the undead received per second. The Undead Knight was surprised by Lin Ye's skill, which had more damage per second than the healing he gave them. The undead. Lin Yi pointed his staff at the Undead Knight while saying,
My last word. What do you mean by your last word?
Lin Yi used the skill Reversal Healing Art Plundering Technique. His health was reduced by 750, including a 50% increase in damage. The Undead Knight began to be attacked shortly after Lin Yi used his attack. The attacks Lin Yi used made him successful in defeating the Undead Knight and gets 6,000 EXP. Lin Yi successfully completes the Land of Bones dungeon, and because he had fulfilled all the secret conditions for the ranking to be upgraded to SSS, he received 1 gold chest and 1 platinum chest. For killing the dungeon boss, Lin Ye's level rose to level 8. Several of Lin Ye's active skills also leveled up for killing dungeon boss. Su Mumu and Bai Ji didn't get any EXP for not doing anything, and the system considered them AFK. But Bai Ji was still happy and jumping happily. Because of Lin Ye's success in defeating the dungeon boss, when Lin Yi walked towards them, Su Mumu said that Lin Yi was not bad at fighting. Su Mumu was surprised by something that Lin Yi had obtained. Because Lin Yi had completed the final task of the Land of Bone dungeon and protected Holy Shield and Holy Sword from undead attacks, he gets a unique reward, namely Stone Sword Key. Its function is to reopen the portal to the Land of Death dungeon under appropriate conditions, and the highest difficulty in the dungeon is Catastrophe level. Bai Ji, who read the description of the item, was surprised by a key that could open the highest level of catastrophe. She felt that she saw wrongly. Su Mumu, who saw the hidden item, was shocked. Because Lin Yi had completed the final task of the Land of Bones, the system notified and whether Lin Yi would accept it now or not. A surprised Su Mumu asked Lin Yi.
There's actually a hidden one-time dungeon key in the Bone Soup dungeon.
While holding the Stone Sword Key, Lin Yi answered, yes. The exclusive item for a one-time special dungeon is different from regular dungeon keys. After use, this key and the dungeon both disappear, as do the rewards inside. Lin Yi explains
That all this is because it's one of a kind. It's a very valuable strategic resource. The regular dungeons visible to beginners are only normal, hard, and nightmare. After that there are actually calamity, disaster, catastrophe, and epic level. Top-tier regular dungeons and rare one-time dungeons are monopolized by professional forces.
Bai Ji, who heard Lin Ye's explanation, was happy because she felt that the rewards from a one-time dungeon at the same level were better than ordinary dungeons. Su Mumu confirmed it and said that this would be many times better than ordinary dungeons at the same level, and the system will provide unique prizes that match the challenger. Lin Yi realized something. He thought that it was a sign that no one had finished with SSS rank with shield health remaining 100%. He felt that way because without Lin Yi realizing it, he was already at the level of SSS rank professional. For not cared about that and immediately opened the gift, she wanted to see what the great Lin Yi got without Koi Aura. Bai Ji, who has the Koi Aura talent whose use has run out, can only smile. With an anxious face, Lin Yi accepts Su Mumu's request and is about to open it. Lin Yi opens the gold chest and gets the gold level skill Massacre and Iron First of Blue. From Lin's platinum chest he received 10 attribute points, and also platinum equipment Hound's Fong and Meteor Staff. Lin Yi felt a bit disappointed because there was no one who suited his priest role. Lin Yi gave Su Mumu a Meteor Staff because he had heard from Su Mumu that he needed a new weapon. Seeing Lin Yi, who felt disappointed, made Su Mumu feel sorry, but he still received gift Lin Yi. They both felt bad. So that Lin Yi wouldn't be too disappointed, Su Mumu said that just 10 attribute points was considered good. Lin Yi added all the attribute points he got to intelligence. Lin Yi gave meteor stuff to Su Mumu. He wanted Su Mumu to use it because he felt that this stuff was in accordance with Su Mumu's 5 elements master in the earth attribute. Curious where will they go next? Lin Yi thinks that they are already superior both in terms of equipment and data output in professional tests. Lin Yi said that he intended to repeat the dungeon and collect experience until he reached level 10. As soon as the three of them entered the portal, they automatically exited the dungeon. When they left the dungeon, Lin Yi asked, "Can you two solo the Land of Bones dungeon next?" Lin Yi felt that if they followed the steps that he did earlier, the two of them might not reach SSS rank, but Lin Yi felt that S rank should be enough to get experience. Bai Ji enthusiastically said that she didn't mind that. While talking, someone came very quickly. While protecting Su Mumu, Lin Yi immediately turned around and said that this was dangerous. Lin Yi was shocked by Bai Ji, who was caught by a stranger. Lin Yi, who was worried about Bai Ji, shouted at him. While holding Bai Ji, a thug asked Lin Yi. He called Lin Yi a brat. He asked if Lin Yi and the others had taken the stone sword key. The person gave the decision to Lin Yi. He wanted Lin Yi to hand over the stone sword key that he got before. He was so confident because his colleagues had a level exceeding 10 and were definitely a level above Lin Yi. Lin Yi had level 8 and was a priest. Su Mumu has level 6 and a mage. Bai Ji has level 5 and is a greatsword fighter. While the thug has level 13 and is an assassin, he threatened Lin Yi to give him the key or he would kill Bai Ji. Bai Ji remained silent when he was being threatened, but she quickly came to her senses and started to take out her sword. With her big sword, she started attacking the thug. She felt that the stone sword key belonged to her. The three of them didn't have to be given to him. A mage in their team smiled while making a fireball. The mage started to attack Baiji, who was unprepared. Baiji managed to defend himself using his big sword, but the damage from the mage's attack still hit him. When the assassin's thugs were being healed by his partner, the mage said that Baiji did have some abilities, but for him Baiji was still weak. Lin Yi was the one seeing him upset. He threatened him to let go immediately or he would die. While taking out a fireball from his hand, the mage didn't listen to Lin Ye's threat. He said not to be too harsh because he liked Baiji's tenacity. Just after he wanted to attack Baiji, Lin Yi attacked him with his skill. His skill managed to scratch the mage a little bit. He was able to avoid it. The mage was surprised by the attack that suddenly came towards him. The thug who previously held Baiji managed to avoid him and felt annoyed while Baiji returned to where Lin Yi and Su Mumu were. The thug was angry with his fellow mage because he failed to stop the attack. The mage who heard him didn't say anything. Lin Yi caught him by mistake. One of their colleagues was using the pain explosion skill. The person he was holding was confused because Lin Yi, who wasn't even level 10, could beat them. Baiji, who had just run away, saw the incident. Su Mumu used the Bionic Tears talent, which created a doppelganger from magic, to catch one of their opponent's female colleagues. Lin Yi told them to leave. He was confused by the person who gave them the courage to rob them. The mage who previously attacked Baiji told Lin Yi to regret his arrogance when he was in hell. While he was making a fireball, he gave a buff to the second brother and told the second brother not to let Lin Yi and the others live. The thug was given a fighter spirit buff by the mage, and the mage also shot a fireball that he had charged. Previously, he intended to kill Lin Ye first because for him, after successfully killing Lin Yi, the others were nothing. Su Mumu, who saw them, was shocked by their indifference towards his colleagues. Lin Yi calmly told Su Mumu and Baiji to step back because they had magic waves. Lin Yi knew about them. They were the fallen ones. They were willing to make a deal with demons from the abbeys, ignoring their previous talent and gaining the power of the abyss, which is several times stronger than their own. Giving up humanity and becoming an enemy of mankind, Lin Yi began to use the skill Reversal Divine Healing. Catastrophe descends. Lin Yi was attacked by mages and thugs without paying attention to his two colleagues who were in the same place as Lin Yi. When the mage's fireball hit Lin Yi, feeling happy, he thinks Lin Yi is just a useless person and can't use skills. While laughing, the mage told his second brother to take their equipment, which looked good, and take it all. The shadow of the thug was seen in a place full of smoke. When the smoke started to dissipate, Lin Yi grabbed the thug's neck and managed to defeat him without getting hurt. The Magi and his partner were surprised by Lin Yi, who was not injured by his attack, and managed to defeat his second brother. While shaking, the mage told the healer on his team to heal him. The healer felt afraid. He didn't want to suffer the fate of those who died in an instant. The mage felt afraid. He was confused by a priest who was probably level 10 who had this kind of power. He felt the power Lin Yi wouldn't be able to get this unless he made a deal with the demon, but he thought about it again. He thinks Lin Yi is not an ordinary person, even to the point where he thinks Lin Yi is not human. Because he feels scared, he immediately runs away from Lin Yi. But Lin Yi, who is marked he, who is someone who has collaborated with the demon, will not let him left. Lin Yi used Reversal Starlight Radiance, which made the ground crack. Because of that, the mage and his colleagues panicked. Lin Yi used the Fallen Hell skill on the two of them. Lin Ye's skill made them die in an instant. Lin Yi felt that all the strengthened reversal skills could kill high-level bosses at the nightmare level, and for 5th level experts they could die in an instant, but Lin Yi regretted it, because he felt they deserved to die. Su Mumu justified Lin Ye's actions because if they didn't fight they would be the ones who died. Baiji was panicked and confused about what they should do next. She asked Lin Yi.
Should we throw away the body? What if their guild finds it?
Lin Yi calms Baiji. He shows them who escaped from prison. Lin Yi tells Baiji not to worry because this person doesn't have a guild that recognizes them.
They move in the shadows, acting individually and not caring about others.
Lin Yi felt annoyed because their gold and platinum equipment was mixed up and the attributes were locked. Lin Yi felt very sorry for the equipment they were using because only the Fallen One could use it. While looking for an item belonging to the Fallen One, Lin Yi found something. He found it. The key to Giant's Demise Forest, which has a calamity level. Lin Yi feels that getting a calamity level key is a very good thing. Level 10 Dungeon Giant's Demise Forest is a nightmare dungeon that has been used for international exams. For years, no one has succeeded in completing it. The second boss, the Dark Curse Knight, is a nightmare and blocks the path to becoming a professional. All elites professionals gather to challenge Giant's Demise Forest level calamity. The goal is not only for high-level equipment and experience, but also to get the drop from the perfect prize and first completion, the key to the catastrophe-level dungeon Forgotten Nest. Lin Yi holds the key that he got. He said that was a story for later. Su Mu Mu was happy when he saw the key to Giant's Demise Forest that Lin Yi had just gotten. Excitedly, she asked Lin Yi.
Can we go there?
Lin Yi said that they would go there when Bai Ji's skill cooldown had ended. Not only did they need to work hard to reach level 10 in the dungeon, but they also had to try to get the key to the Forgotten Forest.